Noxopharm is entering a very exciting new phase in its growth, and I am here today to outline Noxopharm's recent momentum, our key priorities, and a roadmap for a successful future. Since I was appointed CEO and Managing Director at Noxopharm at the beginning of this year, my team and I have been extremely busy crafting our strategy, our business model, and reviewing our full asset portfolio. I've been at Noxopharm for over 3 years now and have always been impressed by the level of innovation coming through our pipeline and the incredible caliber of the team who are delivering our programs. At Noxopharm, we have a proven ability to advance new drugs from discovery through preclinical and clinical studies to develop new treatments for cancer and inflammatory diseases. To summarize Noxopharm's goal in one sentence, we are here to develop life-saving therapies. We are fully and wholeheartedly committed to this goal. Let me now give you an overview of why I feel that Noxopharm is well equipped to pursue such a challenging goal. We at Noxopharm understand the science, specifically in the area of cancer and inflammation. We don't just have one, but 3 development programs. Our most advanced program is with Veyonda, which is our lead drug candidate and is already in the clinic. In addition, we have 2 exciting technology platforms, Chroma and Sophra, which are going to deliver our next round of new drug candidates. These platforms contain technologies that Noxopharm has been working on for some time, but we have now developed strategic plans to progress them as standalone programs. We have several clinical trials ongoing, and we are well funded for our current programs. And last but not least, Noxopharm is comprised of an expert group of people who have deep knowledge and experience on how to develop a drug and bring it to market. And when I say expert group, I mean all of our employees, but specifically our management team. While I am a medical doctor by background, for the last 30 years or so, I have built strong experience in pharma, in leadership roles at global pharma companies such as Merck MSD, Bayer, and Amgen, which demanded strong business acumen. I also have an MBA from a top-ranked business school in the US, namely the Kellogg School of Management, and a Master's of Public Health from Harvard. Our team of 5, each one has decades of experience in their respective fields across science, pharma, and finance. This spans end-to-end drug development, plus commercialization and operational experience from global pharmaceutical companies. But importantly, we are not working in isolation. We have a well-established and growing global network. In fact, we are collaborating with numerous world-renowned academic and government institutions, including the Hudson Institute of Medical Research, UNSW, the National Institutes of Health in the USA, and Weill Cornell Medicine in New York, to name just a few. Our Noxopharm community is expanding rapidly, and this gives us access to world-class scientists and their associated facilities. Our business model has 2 intakes for new assets. On the one hand, assets that we own outright, and on the other hand, assets that we have in-licensed. Noxopharm adds value to these assets by developing them towards a marketable drug. The last piece of the puzzle is the out-licensing piece. It is important to note that the out-licensing of an asset can happen either in the preclinical stage or in the clinical stage. In the next few minutes, I want to delve a little bit deeper into our 3 development programs. All three of them are quite different and all exciting for different reasons. Our three programs are Veyonda, which is our lead drug candidate and is already in the clinic. And then we have two innovative technology platforms called Chroma and Sophra. Let's first have a look at our Veyonda program. Veyonda has been successfully progressed through the discovery and preclinical stages and is now being evaluated in multiple phase 1 and 2 trials in a range of cancer types, including prostate, breast, and lung cancer, as well as sarcoma. Currently, we have 3 distinct clinical programs where we test Veyonda in 3 different cancer treatment combinations. In the DART program, we test Veyonda in combination with external beam radiation therapy. In the SEP program, we test Veyonda in combination with chemotherapy. And in the Ionic program, we combine Veyonda with an immunotherapy that is a cancer drug that affects the immune system. Now, testing Veyonda in combination therapies is an efficient way to enhance existing therapies and improve either the safety and/or efficacy profile to benefit patients worldwide. A very exciting point is that we have been able to attract high-profile hospitals in the USA to work with us. Noxopharm's trials are run in collaboration with world-leading institutions and clinical sites, such as City of Hope Cancer Center and the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Texas. And this is truly special because the investigator at these hospitals have a wide choice of companies they can work with. And therefore, to be chosen by them is an incredible feat for a small Australian biotech company like Noxopharm. Here is now a high-level overview of the Veyonda clinical program. The DART program is the most advanced program with its main focus on prostate cancer. The first DART trial was completed in 2020. The DART-2 trial is currently underway, and the second dose cohort has been fully recruited. The SEP program also encompasses 2 trials. The first SEP trial is completed, and the results have been published in a peer-reviewed journal. The second SEP trial, aptly named SEP2, is currently underway in the USA, and its focus is on a cancer type called sarcoma. The SEP2 trial is a phase 1 trial and will enroll about 30 patients. And importantly, Veyonda has been granted orphan drug designation for this use. Our third active program is the Ionic trial. This trial is an investigator-initiated trial, which means that the lead investigator is responsible for the study and the timelines. Of course, we work very closely with the lead investigator. The Ionic trial combines Veyonda with the immuno-oncology drug Opdivo, which is owned by Bristol Myers Squibb. This study investigates various cancer types, and there are 2 patient groups included. One group of patients that has been treated with Opdivo until it failed, and another group of patients that has a cancer type for which Opdivo is not currently approved. The lead investigator, together with a group of additional investigators, are actively recruiting into both groups. The fourth oncology program was Lupin. The Lupin trial was also an investigator-initiated trial conducted in Australia. This trial was completed last year, and its focus was on end-stage prostate cancer. The trial included 56 patients, and the results, especially the length of overall survival of these patients, were very encouraging. These results have been published at international conferences and in peer-reviewed journals. In fact, the Lupin trial was featured on the cover of the Journal of Nuclear Medicine this April. With 3 ongoing clinical trials, namely DART2, SEP2, and Ionic, which are set to report on near and midterm value inflection points, The lupin program is not currently active, and further studies will be considered in the context of Noxopharm's future capital allocation strategy. The last program is NoxCovid. This study is also complete, and we are in the process of preparing a manuscript to submit to a peer-reviewed journal. One last point I want to make is that all 3 active trials are conducted in 2 stages. The first stage is what we call a dose escalation study, where we find out what is the best and safe dose for this patient population in this specific setting. Once the first stage is finished, we can proceed to the second stage, where we administer the dose that has been determined to be safe for the trial participants. So in stage 1, the focus is purely on safety, and in stage 2, we look for safety as well as efficacy signals. The Noxopharm team has so far raked in quite a number of regulatory successes. A few months ago, we received orphan drug designation from the FDA in the USA for Veyonda in the treatment of sarcoma. And this is significant, as in the prior year, only 4 Australian companies received this designation. Plus, of course, the orphan drug designation provides a number of valuable benefits. Additionally, Veyonda has received 2 IND approvals from the FDA for the DART2 trial and the SEP2 trial. Then determining the market opportunity for our areas of therapeutic focus, you can see that prostate cancer is one of the leading cancers in men and accounts for roughly 250,000 cases in the USA alone. Globally, the number is about 1.4 million cases. The key issue is that once prostate cancer progresses to stage 4, the prognosis is very bleak, and therefore new treatment options are urgently needed. The need for sarcoma treatments is as urgent as well. Although there are fewer patients who are diagnosed with sarcoma, for example, in the USA, it is up to 16,000 cases. The mortality rate of sarcoma is very high, and it is one of the top 5 cancer deaths for patients under 20 years of age. There have been very few treatment improvements over the last 40 to 50 years or so, and therefore there is a dire need for new drugs. I want to now change tack and explain our 2 innovative technology platforms briefly. As already mentioned, these platforms contain technologies that Noxopharm has been working on for some time, but over the last few months, the team and I have reviewed all of our preclinical assets and developed strategic plans to progress these 2 platforms as standalone programs. You may say, we have Veyonda, isn't that enough? Why do we need these new platforms? Well, the reason why our 2 technology platforms are so important is that they are the engine, if you so want, for building future value by generating new drug candidates for the company as we move forward. And therefore, it is paramount that we develop these assets quickly. Our 2 technology platforms, as I have mentioned, are called Chroma and Sophra. Roughly speaking, the Chroma platform is primarily investigating cancer, and the Sophra platform is focused on inflammation and autoimmune disease. The Chroma platform leverages all the knowledge and expertise we have built through our studies on Veyonda. It includes compounds that are all based on the same bioactive structure. We have developed many hundreds of new assets and have screened them for their anti-cancer activity. Our current primary focus is pancreatic cancer, which is the furthest developed program in Chroma. But of course, we are also looking at several other cancer types. Now, I will get back to this slide shortly, but first I want to briefly focus on Chroma. As I have mentioned, our focus within the Chroma platform is pancreatic cancer, and we have a lead drug candidate which is currently in preclinical testing. Pancreatic cancer, as you will be aware, is a very aggressive cancer with a very high mortality rate and unfortunately few treatment options. I want to briefly explain how our novel drug works and why we are so excited about it. There have been many drugs tried for pancreatic cancer, and no one could figure out why nothing is working. Recent research discovered much of the answer to that problem. It turns out that in pancreatic cancer, it is not only the tumor that you need to tackle, but also the tissue around the tumor. What happens in pancreatic cancer is that scar tissue develops around the tumor, and this scar tissue actually promotes the tumor growth and its aggressiveness. And because the scar tissue is quite dense and basically builds a wall around the tumor, no drug and no immune cells can get in to fight the tumor. And this is where our new drug candidate comes in. It has the ability for what we call dual cell therapy. It can soften the scar wall, which allows greater drug penetration to reach the cancer cells, and also opens access for immune cells to reach the tumor. Plus, our drug has direct anti-cancer activity as well. You have seen this slide before. I now want to draw your attention to the SOFRA platform. This platform was in-licensed from the Hudson Institute of Medical Research at the end of last year. Within the SOFRA technology platform, our program for the autoimmune disease lupus is the furthest advanced. The SOFRA platform is being developed under our subsidiary PharmaRage, where we are closely collaborating with the Hudson Institute of Medical Research. The assets that are being developed under SOFRA are called oligonucleotides. Oligonucleotides are basically short snippets or segments of RNA or DNA. And we have been able to chemically engineer these segments in many different ways and have a growing number of over 200 assets. This is a completely novel and state-of-the-art technology, and we are one of very few companies in Australia that are pioneering this technology. We will talk more about SOFRA and its development program in the coming months. Having outlined our current key clinical and preclinical programs, I hope you will agree that Noxopharm is at a truly exciting stage. We are focused on developing life-saving therapies for cancer and inflammatory diseases with our experienced management team and our science-driven strategy. Next, let's briefly touch on our financials and catalysts ahead. Our share price has, unfortunately, not been immune to the broader market pressure in the biotech sector and sits as of 1st of June at 31.5 cents. Our market cap is currently $92 million. Our cash holdings are $18.1 million and are sufficient for our current development plans. In addition, we are anticipating an R&D government rebate of approximately $5 to $6 million. Our news flow for the second half of the year will pick up as we are set to achieve many important milestones. We will have readouts from all of our 3 ongoing clinical trials, and we will be able to share results from our Chroma and SOFRA technologies. In addition, we will be very active in regulatory engagements and in growing our patent portfolio, as well as raising Noxopharm's profile in the investor and pharma communities. In summary, Noxopharm has 3 exciting technologies with Veyonda, Chroma, and Sophra, which primarily focus on cancer and inflammatory diseases. Our scientific expertise allows us to advance early drug candidates to higher value stages. We have a high caliber management team, and we are supported by leading scientists and investigators from around the globe. We will provide multiple updates on our clinical and preclinical programs in the coming months, and we are well funded for our ongoing activities. We are confident that we have put all the right mechanisms and people in place to grow the value of the company and to deliver future successes. Importantly, we approach all of our projects with a deep sense of urgency and work hard to accelerate our programs as fast as possible. We recognize that you, our shareholders, are as passionate as we are about our mission to develop life-saving therapies. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for your support of the company. You are an integral part of our growing Noxopharm community, which means that you are part of a very challenging but also extremely rewarding journey of bringing new and vital therapies to patients and their families. Thank you.